loves. Welcome, welcome. I need to go turn off the sound on my husband's computer. One moment. Okay. Hello, hello. Thank you for showing up and being here. I really appreciate it. Let me turn on my stuff so I can see. Okay. Thank you for being here. I have some really fun cards for you today. Sorry about the little flash a second ago. It was me adjusting the lights. So, yeah, I have some great fun cards. One has 0 stamping, one has a bit more stamping, and one has a whole lot of coloring, but easy coloring. So, I know you can do it. So we're going to start with the one with lots of coloring because it's going to be the longest one, unfortunately. But I really think that you'll like how it ends up. So, my name is Michelle and I am with Crafters Northwest, and I use Close to My Heart products in my videos. And if you have any questions about them, where to get them, how to get them, what you should get, etc., I would love to answer those for you. And I would love to see you guys play along. Even if you don't use Close to My Heart products, I would love to see what you guys do with the free classes that I make for you guys. Of course, I forgot to hit start recording, so now that is recording. So now that that is out of the way, I would love for you to pop into the chat and say hi and let me know along the way if you have any questions or thoughts and whatnot. YouTube does require that you are logged in to be able to chat. That's not anything I can do or change. Just so you know, that's a them thing and not a me thing. So you do have to be logged into YouTube, which is generally also your Gmail or Google password. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So just so you know, we are actually only going to use 2 ink pads today. These 2 ink pads, Toffee and Archival Black. And for this first card, you might wonder, why am I using 2? And that is strictly for ease. Because we are going to use the white gel pens, and it does take a little bit of time for the Archival Black ink to dry, a little bit more time than the regular ink, and so I wanted to be able to do things quickly. So that's why we are doing that. So let's get started. So I have this stamp mounted in my mini Misty, and this is Flowers Are Like Friends. And we have used this one in the past. And we're going to just get going. We have a piece of Acorn cardstock. It does look like toffee, doesn't it? But this is acorn, and not egg corn, but acorn. You know, like the tree. And we're just going to ink this up. This does not have to be perfect because this is a first layer and this is only a reference layer. And I don't know where my Misty sock went, so just pull down the sleeve. All right, so we are stamping this piece. It looks like this. I know, very weird. It's not to the bottom. You'll understand. I promise. Okay. So we are going to color. And so you have 3 sizes of pen tips. When you order with Close My Heart, you get a 3-pack of pens. So you get the 5, 8, and 10 sized nibs. And just as a quick show you, so this is the 5. It'll get a little bit brighter as it dries. This is the 8, so you can already see that the lines are slightly thicker. And then this is the 10. And so you can see they get slightly thicker each time. And so that will come into play a little bit here while we are coloring. We're going to use mostly the 10, but it is up to you and what you feel comfortable with. Now you could do this technique on any color cardstock that you'd like. I think the only one that it wouldn't look great on is black, but that's only because we're going to be stamping over the top of this with black, and so then it would kind of blend in a little bit more. So basically what we are going to do is we're going to color in all of the leaves and stems, and if you wanted to, the little grass at the bottom. One thing you do not want to do with this technique is to allow the gel to dry completely before going over it again. So you don't want to outline every flower and then go back and color. You want to outline and color each flower. So that the ink doesn't flake off as easily when you are adding another layer to it. And for today's project, we are only doing 1 layer. But some projects you want to add another layer on there, so just saying. So we're just going to color, color, color. And you want to work from one side to the other, whether it be left to right or right to left, depending on what your dominant hand is. So if you're left-handed, you would probably work right to left. Right, pretty simple. And we're just going to do the whole card. To help, I'm going to set this aside, and through the magic of video, we have this. Ignore the fact that there's a line at the bottom. I cut it wrong, but I'm going to use it anyway, and I'm going to show you how and why. So this is what we end up with. Right? Does not look the best, but we're going to fix that. Now, part of the reason we did it this way is so that we did not have to be super careful with all of these lines. All right, so if I bring this up here, hopefully it will focus. There we go. And especially like on this flower, right? These are all tiny little buds, right? And all these lines in here, so tiny. So we did it this way so that we can then stamp over it again, because it's inner MISTI. So we have the ability to do that. So we're gonna bring this in and put this right back down. Everything's lined up, cross our fingers and press down. Okay, it's a good start. We need another layer. Actually, I would like to clean off. So I don't know if you can tell, but it did actually pick up some of the white gel pen. Wipe that off really quick, and I wish I had a dry towel that I could go over that with. Oddly enough, this works better to dry if it's slightly wet. And I know that sounds bizarro. It's actually how they like legitimately work. Okay. So I don't think I got any on my ink pad, but I didn't want to chance it with the rest of the stamp. That's a little bit better, but I really do want one more stamping on here. And yes, when your chamois are dry, they hold their shape, whatever shape they dried in, just so you know. And while I haven't tried it, I do believe you can actually tear them when they're in this state. I wouldn't suggest doing that, but all right. Third time's a charm, right? And I think I said last week that I needed to get re-inker for this guy. And I totally do. I have not yet. Okay. Look how pretty that is. I think I would like to have this center just a little bit more. So let's do these two. Okay, that's a little bit better. All right, so let's gather all of our pieces here. Let me tell you what all we have. We have a card base, and I did not grab the envelope, so we're not doing anything with the envelopes. We have 2 pieces of white daisy that are 4 by 5 1/4. I need to see about getting some of this ink off my finger, maybe. Goodness. All right, and then we have espresso, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then a couple of 1/2 inch pieces to go across the front and the inside. And then we also need to decide our sentiment and get a piece for that. So let's glue some of this together. So let's let that dry and let's glue some of this. This is the Close to My Heart refillable tape runner. This goes inside. And it has lots of dots on there, which we talked about last week just a little bit. So these pieces are just 1/8 inch difference, so there's not going to be really a whole lot of space. Okay, just in case this is still wet, I'm going to put it on the back side of my piece so I can rotate the whole thing around. Like I said, I cut it wrong, so that's why you see the washi tape on the back. But I'm going to fix that. And this right here is why we put it on the back side, so that the ink did not get on our work surface. Alright, so we'll put it on the card front. Gonna have lifted up some more. Yep. Oh no, it moved. Oh no. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? My finger was too far down. So before we attach it on here, we're going to let this dry just a little bit more, but we do need a sentiment. Oh, we also need our front here. So see, I'm just going to put this right down here, and it is going to cover up some of our grass bits. And now for our sentiment. Now we could just stamp that on there. But I forgot to do this part of the card, so this is why I'm scrambling at the moment. I apologize. Perfect. We have a couple options, so we can use a tag. As you can see, I have a good number of them pre-cut. I don't know that I like that option. Okay. But this banner shape, I like that. So I think we should do an inside and an outside. So this particular stamp wants to bend a smidge. All right, so that is straight. And then what we want to do is we want to make this one curve. All right, so we have this, and we could do it straight, but the best benefit of these stamps is that you can bend them to match your shape. All right. Let's double check. All right. So my head is likely to be in the camera, so I do apologize. So it looks like I did get it up a little bit much, but that's okay. We did already do the inside, but that's all right. We can trust that we can do this, right? We can do this. Make sure everything is inked up well. Ta-da! Okay. Let's add a little bit of foam tape. On one of the cards, I did already add the foam tape, so you guys don't have to watch me put all of that on because it's kind of a lot. But you'll understand why. I think you will appreciate the fact that I did it, and I think you'll like the card itself. All right. I'm going to use liquid glue this time, just to make the lining up a little bit easier. This is the back side to one of our adhesive sheets that I cut down. And luckily had handy. Haha. Alright. How cute is that? Focus, camera. I wish it would focus on that comment. Anyway, that is card number 1. Right? Super cute. I love it. All right. Card number 2. Again, same colors. We are going to use Floral Notes for the sentiment with sympathy, and setting the scene for this little kind of flurry of leaves. And yes, we are sticking with kind of an autumn theme today. Well, I take that back. Our last card isn't very autumn themed, but it could be. Alright, so I do have this already set up. I try to do that for the videos. And I am using a very old twill ribbon that we used to carry. It's kind of a vanilla color. And also the cork shapes, the autumn cork shapes for a couple of the leaves, and the stitched fancy brackets, which I believe are still available. So let's stamp part of our stamping first, so that that did not cut very well. I don't have any more small ones in here either. Alright, 1 second here. I did not realize that one had cut crooked. So let me cut one really quick. Don't really have enough space right here, so doing this off screen. I apologize. Okay. And scratch our paper. Because we need to stamp off. All right. Sorry, that took a little bit more prep than it needed to. Goodness. Alright, we are going to second generation stamp this, which means we are going to stamp off once and then on our project once, so that we have a lighter stamping on our project. And we have just a tiny bit of space over here, and so we want to fill that. So we're going to do the same thing again, stamp off and then stamp on. Even though this is very light stamping, we're going to let this dry, and we will do some putting together of everything else. Alright, so we have 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside, 3/8 by 5 1/4 for the inside. This is 3 by 5 1/4 for the front. This card goes together super fast. Always burnish your wet glue. See, and if you flipped it over, it could be a Christmas card. Not with this sentiment, obviously, but you could do this exact same design and just change up the sentiment and the embellishment, and you would have Christmas cards ready to go. This one is the fastest card out of all of them. But it's so cute. Alright, so we'll grab these out. Actually, let's do a little bit of stamping so that that little bit can dry. Archival black. Just kind of in the center. Alright, let that dry. We are going to grab a giant maple leaf and then 2 bitty baby ones. And these are adhesive backed, so that is super fantastic. Makes them so much easier to use. And then you have this inside piece, which, I mean, you could make a tree. Ooh, you could make snowman arms with those. That would be super cute. All right. Oh, before we do that, ribbon. So I am going to make a loop, and while you don't have to, I generally, as in almost always, will take a stapler. It doesn't have to be the mini stapler. It can be any stapler, and I will just put 2 quick staples in it. And that will hold my loop. I don't have to worry about any of it popping up. going to cut this at an angle. It's going to be something like that. So we need to add some foam tape. These are just bars. I don't want to use those. So these come from the Shaker Window foam and acetate for the slimline cards. I know I told you guys that in the past, but I haven't showed you. And you get, how many do you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So you get 5 pieces of acetate. These have the outside edges so that you can use them to create a shaker card on your slimline cards. And then there are a couple different thin cuts that you can get to create a border on the surrounding part of your card. Okay, so we're going to put our leaves up here at the top, and they're going to tuck under just a bit. So we don't want our foam at the very corner, so that's why I tucked it down just a little bit. And we are leaving that gap because we do have our ribbon down here that we're going to put on here. So let's go ahead and add our ribbon first. And I'm going to hold this here, and I am going to make it go straight. Even if my glue line isn't straight. And that actually will be good enough because we are putting this here. So I know those are going to be tucked, but we can go ahead and glue this down. And we can kind of fluff that little loop a little bit. All right. And then you just peel off the backings. Now the cork will tear fairly easily, so you do have to be careful. You don't want to go crazy with it. These are super simple to add. They're so adorable, especially the tiny ones. Anything tiny is adorable. Voila! And we're done with our card. Right? So simple. And so cute. Okay, now, last but not least is our last card. I'm actually going to show you this card first because I think it's So cute. Not that these other ones have been adorable as well, but this one, how fun is this? So happy birthday. And it's all Cricut cut. I will put the file link in the description, and everything on here is either free or a close to my heart image. I believe this one is on, the happy is on Artiste, and the font, Cricut said it was a free font, although I'm not sure if it's free because of access or otherwise. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is the card we're making. So we have all of our separate pieces. Oh, that piece is kind of grungy. Okay, so I did put the foam tape, as you can see, it's a lot, on the back of birthday already, so you guys didn't have to watch me do that. We have 2 pieces of white daisy that are 3 1/4 by 8 1/4 for the inside and the front on the outside, and yeah, it's super simple to put together. So let's add our letters first, because that is the easiest way to do this. I am going to use a liquid glue, and hopefully your thought was, of course, because that is going to be the easiest way to do this. So the colors on here, so the Y is Journey, the new color of the year. Ooh. Our I right here is Pumpkin. B is Rosy. Both of these are new colors this year. A is Lagoon, and this is the color that has been a part of the Close to My Heart palette the very longest. And it's the only, it's the oldest one. There's not any older than it. And previous, the only other one that was close was New England Ivy. All right, the H is Seabrook. Our D is Limeade, also a new color. T is shortbread. And our R is honey butter. So we have new mixed with old in kind of a different rainbow style. It's kind of fall-ish, but I don't know that I would call it a fall rainbow. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. All right. Happy is cut out of black glitter cardstock. Not that you couldn't already tell. And this glue really works wonderfully for this. I'm actually kind of upset that I never used it before. I tried one little thing and I thought that I didn't like how it worked. So I didn't use it anymore. I used the green glue instead. And this stuff is actually pretty fantastic. So, lesson learned. Try things more than once. Hello. So I'm not actually putting anything on the inside short of the inside piece. And that's mostly because I couldn't decide what I wanted to put inside with the card design itself. So I could have done as a rainbow in there, but I did not. So this adds just a nice little border to our sentiment. All right. The peeling of the backings. Sometimes the piercing tool works really, really well. Other times, not as well as I would like. Thus far today, making sure I freeze it correctly so it continues to be nice. Thus far, it's working rather wonderfully. Wouldn't it be nice if everything worked so smoothly when we're crafting all the time? Ouch. Gosh, I'm really surprised. I know, I should stop talking until I finish. Because I'm gonna manage to curse myself somehow. Alright, voila. Alright, so I recommend holding the bottom of the A and the Y together because they don't actually connect. And that way you can get everything kind of lined up. And pressed down. And then we take our happy and just glue it on the front. And I know not all of this is going to touch on cardstock, and that's okay. Because there's not going to be anything that can touch it, and it will dry solid. It won't dry tacky like the green glue will do. So that is our card. Super cute. I think it's super cute. So we have this guy here. We have this guy here. And then we have just the one here because I used my sample for the video itself. So those are our cards for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that it inspires you to create some of these cards yourself, and I can't wait to see what you do. So until next week, I hope you get some time to be crafty, and I will see you guys next week for another free class. 3 on Thursday, a free class. So thank you. See you next time. Bye.